on traffic?
So, yes, we have that situation right around mile marker 111 on I-10 eastbound. That was a hit and run crash.
Oh.
Yeah, so
you don't
hit and
usually
run
hear
traffic
about those
crash.
on the interstate.
No, you don't. So that's a hit and run crash, so obviously they're pursuing what's happening with that. We also have a school bus crash on Highway 361 in the LeBeau area. So we'll work to find out some more information on that. But again, that's Highway 361 in LeBeau. There was a head-on collision this morning on Highway 31 right near the old Martin Mills plant. So Highway 31, right by the old Martin Mills plant, that is shut down in that area as they're investigating there.
Take it slow out there, getting into work. Brooks David.
Fog.
Fog. It's a little in the big areas, interstate areas. Lafayette's not so bad. Once you get out onto these small highways, these rural highways, it's pretty thick coming in.
Yes.
So switching gears from the hardest working state police communication guy, Brooks
no kidding,
David.
right?
Sorry, you're up to the hardest working.
Yes.
How about this? The hardest working Lafayette Parish board member on Facebook.
Yes.
Has been Justin Centanni. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are y'all?
Hey, we're great. I had to call Bernie last night because I got sucked into the rabbit hole of Facebook.
Sucked into it.
About the new high school name. The name of the new high school. We're down to 4 names.
Yes.
Right? And you would think people were arguing to make their name the name of the new high school. And I love their passion. What's going on?
Look, I think it's great that everyone's so passionate about the school name, and we obviously have the citizens and residents of Youngsville advocating for Youngsville. The City Council of Youngsville passed a resolution and forwarded it to us requesting that Youngsville be named. And we also have the residents of Broussard who are very passionate and want the name to reflect the fact that the children of Broussard will be attending that school as well.
So it's worth saying, in many situations, as you know, a lot of times school districts and school boards just say, here's our new high school. It's going to be built in 2 years, and this is going to be a name. I applaud you guys for even having a conversation about it just to give everyone some input, and unfortunately everyone can't be happy because it can't be the Caneview Veterans Youngsville High School.
That's a bit of a mouthful.
Yeah, it can't be them all. I mean, how do you put that on a senior ring?
It'd be a really big ring.
It has to be a senior bracelet.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a great point, Rob.
So, the conversation continues. I think it's great. It mixed in with all the, I won't say negativity, all the passion.
Yeah.
Sure.
Has been a Justin Centanni, his name keeps coming up, about how you're engaging and saying, thanks for having this conversation. We're taking things into account, and I think that's great.
Well, look, think back a year ago. What were the conversations we were having about the school board a year ago?
We need some schools. We need some money. A few conversations like that.
It was very much negative.
Yes.
And now we're talking about we're building a school.
Yeah.
Where 2,000 children will be able to go to a brand new high school. We're going to take Como High, which is the 9th largest high school in the state, and we're going to take a chunk of students out of that school and put the kids in a new, modern, 21st century school. So I'm glad, in the grand scheme of things, this is a great problem to have.
Absolutely.
And as we've talked about before, when you go to planning these new high schools like this, I mean, you're putting in the best technology has to offer. With computers and just different things. So I'm with you. I mean, I think it's great. I mean, honestly, the other alternative is, okay, if this were parents controlling this thing, you're not getting a school. Y'all can't calm down in the back seat. You're not getting a school. Pulling over. We're canceling the school.
We're going straight home.
So as long as we, keep this conversation, at the end of the day, like you said, you'll alleviate some of the overcrowding at Como. Possibly some of these people that are going to live closer to the school will have a closer option than having to go to Como.
I mean, look, the school board is very concerned, and we want to do what's right. I mean, I think it's worth noting that when the concept of a new school came up earlier this year, every one of the board members has schools in their district with acute needs. And every one of us could have made a reasonable argument that we need money spent in our district to help out what the problems are there. But what this board did was we realized that, I think I've told you this before, Bernie, we have one high school south of Congress Street.
Yeah,
and so
amazing,
this board realized we need a high school on the south side of the parish, and we voted 9-0. We put politics aside, and we said, this is the need of the children. Let's build a high school.
And that's where Lafayette's growing. I mean, that's where the people are moving. So, wow.
So what happens now with the discussion? So it's narrowed down to 4 names. Is there input from any of the young people?
Yes, actually, that's the next step. Ms.
Okay.
Beado, who's in charge of the process, is going to take the 4 names to the students at Como High,
Okay.
who will be zoned for this new high school,
Okay.
and get their input on the name, and more importantly, get their input on the mascot and the colors.
Yes, because seriously, I mean, like, everybody loves that part of their high school
Oh,
experience.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And you identify with it.
Absolutely.
You know, and I think it could be handled. I think that's an awesome part of it. Just because there are going to be some people who are some students who will probably be thinking right now, well, I don't want to switch. I don't want to change high schools. I don't want to go to a different one. But if you give them that investment, you know, to at least have some input on that, I think that's great. I'll tell you this real quick, Bernie, sorry. I have some friends who went to school up in Acadiana Parish when a school shut down and a high school closed, so they combined and, you know, one of those things. And when I tell you, it's bitter. I mean, these people have been out of high school for 15 years, and it's like, I would never wear that cheerleading uniform with those colors. And it's like, wait, but you graduated from high school.
So Brett Latchley, the board member from District 5, tells the story about it. So he grew up in Giudice. And right around the time right before he got to high school, he went to Acadiana High. Acadiana wasn't open yet. And so he was slated to go to Giudice High. And at the time, we also had Scott High.
Yes.
And they combined the two into Acadiana High, much like we did Como.
Yes.
And he talks about the daily fights in football practice between Giudice boys and Scott boys. And so it's worth bringing that up to remind everyone the history of the Lafayette Parish school system is we had these small high schools in the individual municipalities, and when we combined them and took students from different cities, we didn't name it after a city. We named it Como. We named it Acadiana High. And so it's just, it keeps in line with the historical naming of the schools in Lafayette Parish.
Now, so the kids get their input, right?
Yes.
Then what happens? So do they like vote, or you guys vote with them, or what happens?
All right, so ultimately it's going to come to the school board. We're going to vote.
Okay.
I mean,
so
this is,
like, when?
At the end of the day, I think sometime either next month or early February, the school board will vote, and that's going to be the last say of it all. But after the kids get their say, it's going to go back to this committee who chose the 4 names, and they're going to take the kids' input into account, and they're going to vote on their top 2.
Okay. So it's a top 2 thing, and then majority wins?
And then on the school board, majority wins.
Majority wins.
See, that's great.
Yeah.
And it's a great place to start, because imagine if you would have just told these group of students, name your new high school. You would have had Carrie Underwood Senior High. You know, you would have had all this stuff. And so it's great. I mean, it's great that we just said, here you go.
I put a poll on Facebook the other day, and it was about 5 minutes before I got a no Obama High.
Oh,
gosh. I saw that. Wow. Well, Justin Centanni, thanks for joining us this morning.
Yes.
As the conversation continues, we hope to have you back in and follow the process. We'll follow it here, obviously, on KPEL, and see what happens next.
Look, at the end of the day, I think we can all agree that Captain Clay Higgins High would be the best name.
You know? Is there an other box? Is there just that box at the bottom? The campaign starts now. It's 6:47 now at News Talk 96.5 KPEL.